In an interesting twist on the Robotaxi reveal, Bloomberg reports that Tesla is going to do the reveal not in Texas and not up in Palo Alto, which was where I thought it was going to be, but in Burbank, California. And while at first that seems like a bizarre place to do the reveal, I believe that this is actually a brilliant move on Tesla's part, both practically and for public relations reasons. Let's take a look. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. I'm going to read this Bloomberg article in just a moment. It's very, very brief, and then give my opinions on this. But first, I want to talk about a little experiment I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to mention Kamala Harris and Tim Walz several times throughout this video. I'm not going to really give any positive or negative spin on them, but the rumor is that YouTube is pushing videos that mention Harris and Walz out to more people, making them much more popular than they otherwise would be. So I'm going to study the analytics versus, the last 10 videos that I've released. And in a few days, I'll report back in another video how it did and whether it did substantially better than other videos. As you'll see later in my opinion area, I believe that mentioning Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and their campaign actually does have something to do with this video, so it's not completely tangential, but mostly I just want to mention their names several times and see if this video gets extra push. So forgive me if their names are grating to you. This is mostly an experiment. Anyway, without further ado, let's turn to the actual article. I will leave a link to it in the description so you can read it on your own if you are interested. Tesla Robotaxi reveal planned for October at Warner Brothers Studios, Los Angeles, and that's the big deal part of all this stuff, is not just the fact that it's Warner Brothers Studio, but it's in California and specifically in Los Angeles. Tesla Incorporated aims to unveil its highly anticipated Robotaxi at an event at Warner Brothers Discovery Incorporated movie studios, gosh, that's a mouthful, in the LA area, people familiar with the matter said. The electric vehicle company is targeting a reveal of the purpose-built Robotaxi on October 10th at the Burbank, California facility, the people said, asking not to be identified because the information is private. Who leaks this stuff, by the way? This is just a bizarre thing to leak. Anyway, the 110-acre lot holds 29 sound stages and has hosted famous productions from the Batman movies to the television show Friends. I've actually done a studio tour and seen the back lots and some of the sound stages and stuff. The place is absolutely massive. It's pretty impressive when you think about the fact that it's in Los Angeles in the LA area, with how expensive real estate is and everything and how much real estate they actually own for this. So if you're in the LA area sometime and you want to do a touristy kind of thing, then going to see the Warner Brothers Studios, it is pretty cool to see it. Anyway, continuing on, Tesla Chief Executive Officer, or actually Techno King, Elon Musk didn't respond to requests for comment. A spokesperson for Warner Brothers didn't immediately comment either, so they've got no confirmation. This is rumors, so take it or leave it. This might or might not be true at this point. Musk has been prioritizing autonomy and artificial intelligence, shifting away from Tesla's core business of selling EVs to consumers. I would contend that their core business has never quite been selling EVs. That was a transitional thing. That was something that they did in order to get to these other stages. And I think they've always been pretty clear that they want to get to autonomy and alternative energy storage, and more lately, of course, AI for humanoid robotics. But anyway, whatever. The Austin-based company is also creating a proprietary ride-hailing app powered by a fleet of both purpose-built robotaxis and consumer cars that don't require a human driver. If you've been paying attention to the space, you already know this. The CEO may give more details about the technology at the LA event. I assume he probably will. Tesla moved its headquarters to Austin in December 2021, but its design studio remains in Hawthorne, California. There, it's very, very true. In 2016, Musk also used Hollywood studio space when he demonstrated Tesla's solar roof product at the set of Desperate Housewives. And finishing up here, Tesla delayed the timing of the Robotaxi event, initially scheduled for August 8th, due to design change requests by Musk, Bloomberg reported in July. The company also needed more time to create prototypes to demonstrate, people familiar with the matter said. Okay, so that's the article, and that's the rumors that it's going to be at Warner Brothers Studios in Los Angeles rather than in Texas, which I think most people expected, and rather than in Palo Alto, which was what I expected because I figured between the fact that San Francisco is very friendly to robotaxis, to, autonomous vehicles, and the fact that Tesla's AI headquarters is in the San Francisco area, in Palo Alto to be specific, but, a stone's throw from San Francisco. Anyway, I expected it to be there, and the dark horse candidate I thought was actually to put it in China instead. But this is really a dark horse candidate. I did not expect it to be in Burbank, California. So of course that brings up the question of why the heck would they put it in Burbank, California? I think that there are two reasons. One is practical and one is more public relations, as I said in the beginning. The practical is relatively straightforward. So Warner Brothers, as I said, is very, very large in terms of square footage. It's it's got a lot of sound stages, but it also has backlots where there are like fake city streets and things like that. You know, you can film Back to the Future there or something like that. So they even have a town square area that can be fitted out to do things like Back to the Future or whatever you want to film there. But they have these artificial road systems. In other words, they look like real roads that you would see in a neighborhood or someplace where, you know, in real life, but they're on a soundstage, so they're highly controlled. They're not public roads, which means that Tesla can do their Robotaxi rides, right? They could give you a ride around the soundstage area. In fact, one of the things you do during the Warner Brothers tour is they have a little bus thing where you go around and you ride around and you look at the different sound stages and the back lots and all of that kind of stuff. So I could see Tesla taking over a portion of the back lot for, you know, for that day, for 10/10, to be able to drive people around autonomously without having to deal with regulatory issues. And that solves a bunch of problems for Tesla because they will be able to demonstrate the vehicles to whoever goes, right? The press, the interested public, whoever gets to go to this event. I hope I get to go to this event. But anyway, they'll be able to demonstrate it to those people without having to worry about actually driving on real streets, which has all sorts of regulatory, you know, hurdles that they have to jump through. So I think the practical reason is very, very simple. It's very easy for them to set up a situation in a very controlled environment where the vehicles can drive around and show off the ability of the Robotaxi to take you from, you know, one part of the back lot to another part of the back lot without ever going on public streets and having to deal with the regulatory hurdles that would be required in order to do something like that. So that's the practical. What is the public relations angle on this? Well, I think the public relations angle is that if you haven't been paying attention recently, Elon Musk on X has been, you know, posting a lot of things in support of, let's say, more conservative candidates. And again, if you've been paying attention to any kind of pop culture these days, you know that Los Angeles and specifically Hollywood is considered to be the like center of wokeness and everything. So Los Angeles, and in particular Hollywood, is very diametrically opposed to the more conservative candidates that Elon Musk has been supporting recently. And of course, we've seen Elon Musk very much criticizing Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and their campaign and what they stand for and everything. But I think that Tesla, at the very least, and probably Elon Musk, even though he probably won't talk about this publicly, but I think he's realized that this has had a negative consequence to Tesla. Let's just put it that way. There's been a lot of bad press recently. There are a lot of people that I know, including, you know, folks that I have talked to personally, and this is anecdotal, this is not statistics, but I've talked to a lot of people that are like, will not buy a Tesla because Elon Musk has said certain things about certain candidates and is not supporting Kamala Harris or Tim Walz. See, I told you I'd say it a whole bunch of times and see if it got pumped up in the ratings. But anyway, think about the public relations win that this would be. You've got Tesla doing a major reveal for autonomous driving in basically the center of woke Hollywood, which is about as left-wing as things get. And of course, while Elon Musk has traditionally been a Democrat and actually quite liberal over time, I think right now the public perception is that he's very, very conservative. And this is a way of, you know, swinging that pendulum back to the more liberal group of people who were the original supporters, of course, of Tesla. The relatively wealthy people in California who could afford a Tesla Roadster back when it was not the most practical vehicle in the world. And then especially the folks in California and the more, you know, green-centric, the people who wanted to take care of the environment and everything, the original purchasers of the Model S and eventually Model X, that group of people tends to be fairly liberal. And I think that Musk, you know, has probably realized that what he's been doing, and I'm all for free speech, he can say whatever the heck he wants to. So I am not denying that he should be allowed to say what he wants to, but I have a feeling that he's realizing that there are consequences to Tesla and Tesla sales for him saying these things. And this is a way of potentially trying to patch that up in a very, very public way, because this is the kind of event that I think will be set down in history as demarcating, you know, probably the beginning of fully autonomous vehicles at scale in the world. So this is a very important moment in time, and having that moment be tied to Hollywood and Los Angeles and California, that's sort of getting back to Tesla's roots. And I think that Elon Musk, in that 4D chess sort of way that he's doing, has realized he's pushed to the right a long ways, and he's made people on the right like Tesla a lot better than they used to, and that's a big win. But the problem is he is, you know, the people on the left, like folks who support Kamala Harris and and Tim Walz, see, I said it again, are less supportive of him right now, less supportive of Tesla. And this is a way of pushing the pendulum back towards the center to say, yes, we still know who you are. We still respect you. We still want you to be part of the Tesla family. So overall, the practical element of this is fairly obvious. The ability to drive the vehicles around in a private environment that has fake streets that looks like a real road but is not is a big win. But they could have done this in other places. There are, army bases and things like that that have fake cities set up where they would do the DARPA challenges and everything. So they could have done it there instead. But I think the reason why Los Angeles, and in particular Warner Brothers Studios, in other words, part of the Hollywood culture, is to try to make a statement and to try to produce some left-wing liberal cred for Tesla and to counteract to some extent the right-wing sort of direction that people have seen Elon Musk in particular, and by association Tesla itself, as going. All right, those are my thoughts. If you have other reasons why you think that Tesla would be doing this in Burbank at Warner Brothers Studios, definitely let me know in the comments. Of course, remember, this is all just rumors. We don't know this for a fact. It has not been confirmed. But probably within the next couple of weeks, we'll either find out that it's going to be here or not, because we're down to just over a month before this event, which is pretty darn cool. And just to make sure we really push this for the experiments, I'm going to say Kamala Harris and Tim Walz one more time. So we'll see whether this thing gets pushed or whether I lose a ton of subscribers or gain a bunch of subscribers. I don't even know. Anyway, I'll be very curious to see how this experiment goes. Let me know in the comments what you think. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.